Hello and welcome back to InsideByte. In this tutorial, we're going to cover NiFi integration with DynamoDB. For those who don't know what DynamoDB is, I'm just going to pull back the description for it. So basically, DynamoDB it's a NoSQL database. It's a serverless offering from Amazon Cloud Services. For this tutorial, if you want to do it as I'm doing it, you would need to have an Amazon account. If you don't have one or you just want to see the video, that's fine. But it's really easy to do, and I recommend for all those working with data engineering or software engineering, just go ahead and create an Amazon account. It will allow you to play with their services and help you develop your skills. All right, so let's jump into it. First, let's go ahead and list all the processors that NiFi offers us out of the box that work with DynamoDB. So the first thing you want to do, you want to drag the processor item on your canvas and just type Dyno. Yeah, here you can see that we have 4 processors: delete DynamoDB, PutDynamoDB, get DynamoDB, PutDynamoDB, and PutDynamoDB record. In this tutorial, we're going to cover how we're going to do PutDynamoDB and PutDynamoDB record. In the following tutorial, we're going to cover get and delete. Basically, get will allow us to read from a DynamoDB table, and delete will allow us to remove an item from a DynamoDB table. Before I do that, I'm going to drag again the DynamoDB console here, and I'm going to show you guys that I have a table created, and this table called my table is going to be our guinea pig in this example. So this has a configuration as such: the partition key, its ID, and the store key, its name. I'm not going to go into details what they stand for, but so feel free to Google that up or ask me to do a tutorial on DynamoDB tables. All right, cool. So now let's jump back into our NiFi and review our initial PutDynamoDB processor. So I'll walk you through the flow to see what happens. And as a side note, all of these flows, they will be available and shared with you guys. I'll create the links and I'll upload them into my GitHub account, and I'll share them with you. You can download them and play with them, change the attributes so to point to your own DynamoDB table as you want. So first, we're going to create a flow file with a payload. If you're going to look here, this payload will be a JSON body that will have an ID, name, and a payload. Basically, that's what we're going to write, or that's going to be our attributes, if you think about it. We're then going to evaluate each key of that payload, or each key of that flow content, and we're going to place it in individual keys. After that, we're going to replace the flow of the content with only the content of the key payload. And in our final step, we're going to commit to the DynamoDB table. And now let's go over the configuration of the DynamoDB table processor. Well, this processor receives the table name. In this case, the table name has to be created in your Amazon account. The column name for the hash key, in this case, this is the partition key. The range key name, in this case, is going to be your store key name in terms of DynamoDB lingo. The hash key value that you're going to input, you remember we've used the value JSON to capture this ID. The range key value, you remember we evaluated the JSON using the value JSON path, and we extracted that attribute. And then the type of these 2 keys. Well, we know that the ID, it's a type number, and the range key, it's a type string. You have 2 options here. You can either choose string or number, so it's not really hard to pick. The next one is the JSON document attribute. Basically, what is going to be the document content outside of its partition key and store key. So you remember we did a replace on the payload, so that's what we're going to commit to our DynamoDB table as the record. Then the char set, we leave it as it is. How many items per request are we going to commit to the table? It comes with a default of 1. The region where your table is. In my case, it's in Asia Pacific, Sydney, and you also have to have an Amazon credential provider services created. Basically, this will allow your NiFi instance to communicate with your Amazon cloud account. This is very basic because I'm using my local instance profile. So if you go to the configuration and you just look at it, it's using the default credentials. All right, let me jump back into it and let's run this flow and observe what happens. First, we generate the payload. We're going to evaluate all of the keys And if we look into the queue, we can see that the attributes have been captured. We got ID, name, and payload. Next thing, we're going to replace the current payload with only the payload attribute value. It's a bit confusing, payload, but bear with me. All right, so you see, this is the content. This content will be committed as the data input for the DynamoDB table. And now let's run this. So we see we have a success. The return of the PutDynamoDB table has three options: failure, success, or unprocessed. Unprocessed sometimes might be due to throttling or other situations such. Failure is because there's a particular failure that you need to fix. So normally you would put this as a back in here as to do a retry. So what we do now, let's validate that the data was inserted into our DynamoDB table. So if we drag our UI back, let's click on the explore table item. All right, so there you go. We have a new record in, and if we click on the main item, we can see that we have the ID, name, and the payload, and this is the body of the record. Every time you want to refer to this document, or you will have to provide him with the primary key or the partition key, how the naming DynamoDB table, and the sort key -range key. So now let's go to the next example. So right now we saw how we can insert individual records. What about if I were to insert from a list of records? Imagine that you have this payload. So I have multiple items, I don't want to do it one by one. I'll have multiple items. So for this case, if you see, we have in one payload, we have one attribute, in the other payload, we have multiple attributes. Now, how do we deal with that? Instead of doing a split and then spreading it across? Well, for this use case, we're going to use PutDynamoDB record. And I would say this PutDynamoDB record, it's easier to configure, more straightforward than PutDynamoDB. So let's go over this configuration. So if we open the PutDynamoDB record, this one requires a JSON reader. In this case, the JSON reader, it's a service that allows you to interpret or read the incoming payload. So for this JSON reader controller, the configuration is as such. We leave it as default and then we ask him to infer the schema. The easiest way to do it when you have JSON objects. So basically he's going to read the entire schema of that array and he's going to pass it on to DynamoDB. Now he knows what is where, basically. Second, you have to provide him with the credentials, which I showed earlier. The region where the table exists, the table name, the partition by field. Basically, he's going to refer to your incoming schema and extract the partition field. So if your particular field in the table is ID, you should have something as such in your incoming payload. So you see, I'm stating that my partition key field is ID and my sort key is name. They both come from the payload. Communication time I leave as it is, and the rest stays the same. Let's apply. Let's run this once. Before we do that, let's go ahead and clean up our DynamoDB table. So for that, what I'll do, I'll go to my DynamoDB console, select the item, and then delete item. Great. So if we run now, we have nothing. Let's go back to our NiFi and run this. So we can see we had a success, the same thing. This particular processor returns a success, connection, failure, or unprocessed. If we go to it and look at the success outcome, it doesn't give us any information about the commit. The only thing that it does, it says chunk processed 1, and the rest stays the same. If we look into the payload, the return values is the same as the input value. So now let's go to DynamoDB and see if this actually happens. And let's run it. And you can see we have 2 items. Now, as our final leg of this tutorial, we're going to see what happens if the incoming records carry the same IDs and the same sort keys, or name in this case, but the attributes change. What will happen? Will it add a new row or would it update? Ideally, it would update, right? Because, these are primary keys. It means that they're unique at the table level. Another thing I forgot to mention, if you look at this second payload, you see at the beginning, we look at the initial payload in NiFi. We didn't have 2 records or 2 keys in the payload in our second record. But due to the schema that was inferred at runtime, he knows that he needs to have a second key here. And since he didn't receive any value, it just populated with a null. So this might be a use case for you or might not, If you have records that have this columns in common, but the payload differs and you want it to differ, then you would need to actually process them separately, split the JSON payload and then route them individually to PutDynamoDB record. This way it will maintain the shape of the record instead of being a common shape of the record. All right, so now let's go ahead and make some changes to our payload, and let's try to edit the content of this record. So right now we have ID 123, name John Doe, and we have this attribute. So you see attribute 1, value 1, attribute 2, value. How can we change the value of this key in this case? So let's make it attribute 2, value 2. Let's see how that can be done by changing the payload. Imagine that you have this coming from your system. It comes with that ID, but one particular attribute changes. So let's enter the generate flow file, assuming that user John Doe has changed an attribute. So let's remove one attribute and let's change its value here. Let's say put it value 3, and let's get rid of, or let's leave it. Nothing's going to change here. All right, so let's apply, push this through the pipeline. We generated one. You can see we had a second success. And if we go down, if we go back to our DynamoDB table, do a run, we can see that right now what happened, he first updated the missing attribute saying, hey, you know what? You didn't send me an attribute, one value. So basically he will update it with null. This is not really what you wanted it, if you think about it. And then he set the value of the attribute 2. So this is on the sign on. This is something for you guys to be aware of. You have to provide him with the exact payload plus the changes in order for him to keep the same data shape. So in our case, you see we leave only one key, but then he went and changed the existing value of another key because the main driver here is the ID and the name. So you have to be mindful of that. If we would want to do, let's say, let's go back to our canvas and add a value for the attribute. And let's say attribute 1, let's copy this one from here, put it here. All right, this should be good to go. Let's run this once, go back to our DynamoDB table, run, and we can see now that the record 1 to 3 received the 2 values. Now let's say we want to change this value only. Well, basically you have to provide him with the same input, but with that value change. So if we go here and we want to change attribute and add value 1, save it, let's cancel and run, query the record, and you can see value 1 was added. But what about if you add a new key to this record? What happens to the other records in the table? Well, in this case, he will also add a key to the second record that is part of the same payload. Let's go to this example. Let's copy this entry here and say attribute 3, let's give it a distinct value 23, apply, run it once, go back to our DynamoDB, and if you see, beside the fact that he added a record to 1 to 3, that's fine, this is what we wanted, he also adds a record to the second record, the second entry, which is 4, 5, 6. So this is not really what you want. In this case, what you would want is to have this as individual records. So let's go through that example. Though this is looking for a list, we're going to remove one item, right? Keep it as a list and say, okay, I only want you to add to 1, 2, 3, and let's do the same exercise. Add a new key to this payload and let's call it key 33, right? We have this key, we have key 23, and let's add another key with the same value. I know this is confusing. It's really hard to work in this NiFi because it does not let me properly format it. So we have this payload, we have this. All right, let's save it, apply, run once. So we see we have a success. Go to DynamoDB. Right. So you see now in record 4, 5, 6, nothing changes before. We still have those 3 attributes or keys inside the payload. But if we go to my single record, oh, now we have 4 here. So this is what I'm saying. Sometimes sometimes inferring the schema might screw up the entire flow. So be careful with that. All right, so what did we do so far? Just to recap, we went over how PutDynamoDB works, what do we require to have there for it to be functional, and then we demonstrated a way of putting DynamoDB records using a record reader. I would say this is the optimal way because it's much faster than the PutDynamoDB directly. You see you have multiple processors here. This is just goes from source to target with the converter. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop a comment. If you enjoyed this video, leave a comment, give me a like, consider subscribing, and if you like NiFi, you work with it, consider joining our Discord channel. There'll be links in the description where you guys can follow and join there. We have about 100 strong that we constantly talk about NiFi and other development strategies for our data engineering work. In the next tutorial, we're going to touch on how to get records from that table and how to delete records from that particular table using delete DynamoDB and get DynamoDB. All right, I see you guys in the next tutorial.